Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Yeah, you're thinking, wouldn't mind a little seafood. Well, it's Thursday. We are set up. I am, Terry Norvelle, set up on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. And, of course, they feature Safe Harbor seafood. It doesn't get any fresher than that. The dock, the ocean is right there. The seafood comes to your plate right here. They prepare it the way you want it. It doesn't get any better than that when it comes to seafood. Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach. Hi, everybody. Terry Norvelle. Busy Thursday. The NFL gets started. Can't wait for the first NFL game. Boy, the Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. How about those guys taking on the Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs? Can the Ravens, can they just run the ball down everybody's throat with big Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson? Kansas City, are they fat and happy? Are they still hungry? We will see. Gator Nation says, good afternoon, Terry. Well, good afternoon right back to you, Gator Nation. We hope to hear and read some of your comments as we go 4 to 6 happy hour show, the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks. I'll read them if you post them. We've got a lot to get to today. I hope Patrick will join us. Patrick Young probably hooking up with us as we speak. We hope also to talk a little Dolphins, Jaguars. Oh, by the way, those two state of Florida teams, they open up Sunday at 1 o'clock down in Miami. So the NFL gets started tonight. Tomorrow in Brazil, we think, if they allow the teams to get out of their team hotel. The NFL doesn't mess up very often. What the hell were they thinking putting this game in Brazil? The teams can't leave their hotel. The team colors, great. I was just talking to a guy at the bar here, setting up the show here at Sliders Oyster Bar. We got talking about the Friday game. Green Bay and the Jets, I think it is. And right. I did not realize this. And Zach, you can chime in if you want here, if you know a little bit more. Brazil, soccer, that's the number one sport. And Sao Paulo, the big capital of Brazil, and Brazil, beautiful big country. They've got issues in Brazil, though. So supposedly, in the soccer world in Brazil, the big rival against the big team in Brazil, their color is green. So they hate green. Zach, they hate green. And who's playing over there? The Eagles.
The two greenest teams in the entire NFL, I believe.
The two greenest teams in the NFL are showing up with green. And supposedly, Brazil, they hate the color green when it comes to sports. And you can't leave your hotel, hide your cell phone. They'll steal them. The NFL doesn't miss very often. Zach, did they miss here? What the hell's going on with the NFL in Brazil right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, Roger Goodell's never going to skip out on an opportunity to try to spread the global awareness of the game and chase that almighty dollar. But yeah, it is a little concerning that, the majority of the players have elected to tell their families to stay at home and just not even come with them. There's a lot of major red flags surrounding this event. But, I mean, it could potentially go off really well. It could be good. I don't know. I don't want to bash it before it even happens. But, yeah, there's a lot of red flags for sure.
I guess. But supposedly, and, some people today, I was at lunch today talking to some buddies of mine and just some people in the area. We got talking sports and talking about the show and blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, Terry, before you bury Brazil, they told the NFL players you can't go here and can't go there. It's not safe. It's not safe anywhere. It's not safe in Jacksonville. I agree with that. But you know what? When it comes to it's not safe in Jacksonville, maybe this much of Jacksonville, unless you catch something crazy, it sounds like there are big areas in Brazil where you better not take your little narrow behind anywhere near because, and don't wear anything green. I don't know. I don't know. The NFL, they don't miss much, but they might have missed this one. If you're Roger Goodell and the boys, Zach, don't you get a feeling that Goodell and all the decision makers in the NFL, they're thinking, okay, good Lord, let's play tomorrow's game Friday, right? The game's tomorrow in Brazil, right?
It's a Friday night game, yeah.
Don't you get the feeling Goodell and the boys are going, and the United States government to a degree is going, if we can just get those two teams in and out of Brazil safely, we'll be happy. Don't you get that feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope and I would imagine that they have taken the proper precautions to make that happen. And I would like to think that things will go smoothly. And I believe, frankly, I believe they will. But I mean, yeah, what you're doing is you're inviting danger by doing that.
Yes, you are.
And it's probably potentially better to just go ahead and just not invite danger and potentially look for other ways to grow the game.
And Zach, you're an educated guy. You're probably smarter than me. Danger and the NFL, those should not go together, right? Danger, NFL, danger. They shouldn't be married together, right?
I mean, there's definitely a contradictory thing going on with the NFL where they constantly say they're protecting the players and doing this and that, but they also, like, at the same time do things that just put the players in harm's way and go right against that.
Yeah. Hey, they'll go to great lengths to say no concussion protocol, extra padding in the helmets, new helmets, this, that, the other thing, but they'll send them over to Brazil to play football games.
Yeah, and make them pay potentially an 18-game schedule. I mean, who's to say they won't make it 21 day? You know?
Hey, El Chapo, we're going to send a couple teams over to play at your area, or whoever the drug lord is over there. All right, Zach, before we get going, we got a lot to do here on the program, including, I'm not going to say I have a scoop on this, but I'm just going to say this before we do a drawing. And here's our official drawing bag. That happens to say Crown Royal, but that doesn't mean I was drinking Crown Royal. These are iconic bags. You know that, right, Zach? The Crown Royal bag is iconic. Okay, so we've got entries in here and all, so I'm putting them all back in. We're going to do our drawing. We're going to give away 2 Gator tickets to tomorrow's game. Before we get to that, though, there's just a little smoke, and generally at this point when there's smoke, there's fire. It sounds like Billy Napier's days as the head football coach for Florida are over. Zach, and we won't get deep into this, but I'm not even sure he makes it through Sunday at midnight as the head football coach. I think it's that bad. You're hearing stuff. This guy's hearing stuff. I'm hearing stuff. It sounds like there may be a big move with regard to Florida football soon. And soon being this weekend, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely nothing official, but I mean, it's no secret that I think that just the fact that the game wasn't even close, it was embarrassing. I think that most people who are lifetime supporters of Gator, I mean, me from the outside looking in as someone who grew up away from the state, I always kind of saw Florida as a really like a marquee, like a big football brand.
Sure.
And they just frankly have not been that for the past, 10, 15 years. It's been several coaching hires where it's just, They just don't really feel like they're on the same level. They're certainly not on the same level as Georgia right now.
Yeah, and it's Napier. It's not Napier's first year or Napier's second year. It's his third year, and they look as Chinese fire drill lost in year 3 as year 1. You can't have that. So it appears that Gator football maybe – I've got the answer, by the way. The answer is Bob Stoops. I'll get into that a little bit later. The answer is a short-term, fix the program, and then go find your long-term answer. We'll get into that. But with that said, I'm going to shake them up. Zach, you see here? Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up. We're going to give away 2 tickets to Saturday's Florida-Samford game. And I asked people, we've got 30 or 40 entries here. I'm going to put them back in, but here's a bunch of the entries. Zach, I asked people to go online, and I cut it off, 12 hours ago, early in the morning, whenever. I said, hey, man, just tell me, and I'll write your name down and put you in. you want 2 tickets to the Gator game coming up Saturday, Florida versus Samford, and why? And Zach, I was very proud. Many of the little explanations involved young kids going to their first Gator game. And that's kind of what I want this to be. This is not Florida, Miami. This is not in the swamp. This is not Florida FSU in the swamp. This is not the Gators taking on LSU. This is Samford coming in. This game should be a night game where a dad, a mom, a family takes their young kid or two to their first game. Really happy, Zach. A lot of people that said, put my name in the drawing, said that. So I'm going to reach in here, and we're going to draw out a name, and I will reach out to you with the contact information to get your electronic tickets to the game on Saturday. Here we go. Zach, you ready?
I'm born ready.
Zach, are you excited? Zach,
I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very. I want to say while you're shuffling them up, I want to say, did you notice the game they played in Vegas, the LSU and USC? I felt like the end zone that said Las Vegas was very reminiscent of the Crown Royal bag that you're shaking up.
It was. The script.
I feel like that was on purpose.
They had the script in both colors, different end zones, different colors.
Yeah.
I agree.
The
with
LSU
you.
side looked like that.
Zach, is that your excited face right now? What is your excited face?
I'm really on this. I guess I'm very excited. I could not be more excited. It's NFL open weekend. You're giving away tickets. You're gonna make someone's grandson very excited, grandchild very excited.
Look at that. That's pretty cool. Look, I've got a bad hand. Oh, what am I gonna do with my bad hand? I've got a bad hand. How am I gonna pick up this pen? I need to write something. Right. I don't have a bad hand. My hand's okay. All right, you ready, Zach? Here we go.
Yeah.
Giving away 2 Gator tickets to Saturday's game. The name is, and I will reach out to you. You have won 2 tickets. Josh Vaughn. Josh Vaughn, I will reach out to you on social media. And I remember, because I was writing all these names down, I remember that name that came through. Congratulations, Josh Vaughn. You have won 2 tickets to Gainesville Saturday. And I think, I don't have, Zach, I'm not going to go through everything. I think he was one of the guys that, and I asked for a little bit of a dissertation. I think he said something to the effect of young kids. Maybe he's part of an organization for kids. And I think this guy is going to take a young person or two, and it'll be a good thing. So I'm going to put this in my pocket, and Josh Vaughn, I will reach out to you, and we will let you know how to get your 2 Gator tickets. Now, with that said, hitting the fast forward button, young Zachary producing this show, as we come next week, Florida will host Texas A&M. And will Billy Napier be the coach? Will he not? Will DJ Lagway be in his second start? Will he be? We'll see, but there's going to be a lot of interest in next week's Florida Texas A&M tickets. So hang tight. There you go. We get a message. Congrats to Josh Vaughn. So somebody from Gator Nation. Hey, good sportsmanship there from Gator Nation. Also, this guy Al says, "Man up, take it on Samford. Go DJ." That's a Gator wish from a Gator fan, Big Al. So if you want to follow us on the show, drop your comments on our comment section. No matter what platform, we think they will all go there, and I will try to read them up. Here's what I do. As we welcome you to the show, we're going to kick it off now with a dissertation from me. Terry Norvelle, you are running Gator football. What do? Do you keep your coach? Do you say, hey, give him 4th year? Do you say, hey, they're where they should be? No. I've seen all I need to see. I think Billy Napier is over his head. I don't think Billy Napier is a Power 5 Division I head football coach. He's in his 3rd year. Billy Napier, a lot of his things that almost are his inventions that have never been done in the history of college football over 150, 55, 60 years. I don't think they've worked. I think we've seen enough case study with Billy Napier as the head football coach at Florida. I think Florida needs to make a move. I think they need to hire a new coach. And frankly, will anything be gained if you fire your coach week 2 and have to go interim the rest of the way? Maybe not. But the message that you send might be there. With that said, with everything in the cookie bowl that you're making cookies, okay, the Gator roster, where they're at, if you fire the coach, what coaching staff, does the team quit, on and on, the schedule, on and on and on. I think it would be beneficial to make a move to let the world know that the University of Florida is about to hire what they think is a big-time coach. I don't know if right now the Florida football program is in a position to go hire the best of the best. I'm not so sure that the Florida football program doesn't need to stabilize itself over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. With that, I mean, go get a coach that can come in, that knows what they're doing, a proven coach that can get Florida back in the annual 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins neighborhood, okay? Because Florida football right now, if you go out, you whack Billy Napier and you say, we're going to throw our name in the hat. We want to get the biggest of the big names out there in college football. I don't think the Florida brand or the Florida wallet is there right now. With that being said, if I was running Florida football, I may look to the next best thing. I may go find somebody I think that will, A, come in and stabilize Florida football over the next 5 to 7 years. When I say stabilize, I mean, Florida, you're not winning 8 games, 9 games, 10 games a year right now. Florida, you are under 500 the last several years. I think if I'm Florida football, they're not ready to get into a battle royal with the best of the best out there. I don't think the Florida brand is there. I don't know if the Florida finances are there. With that said, I would go try and stabilize the program. And here's where I would go. I did a lot of research today. I'd go the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. I would say, Coach Spurrier, here's what we've come up with. Here's our solution to Gator football, to getting Gator football to the peak where we all want it. And Coach Spurrier, I don't think it's a 1 or 2 year fix. Coach Spurrier, we would like you to get on the phone and we would like you to make a pitch to a buddy of yours, a guy that you were a mentor of, a guy that has won college football at the highest level, a guy that is already currently coaching football, which tells me this guy wants to coach football, a guy that already has a sitting coaching football staff in place. He's not a guy you're grabbing off the sideline and he's got to put a staff together. I would go to the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, and I would say, Coach, we would like you, we being the University of Florida football program, the administration, the school, Coach Steve Spurrier, we would like you to call your buddy, Bob Stoops, and say, Bob, we would like you to come to the University of Florida. You've been here before. We would like you to take over the head coaching football job at Florida for a good 5 to 7 years. We want you to, A, come stabilize the program, but we think you're the guy. We think you already have a staff in place. Now, you may say, what are you talking about? Well, he was coaching in the UFL. That tells me back in, what was that, April, May? The league's terrible, but Bob Stoops coached in the league, which tells me he wants to coach. Bob Stoops, he's 63, 64 years old. He's a young 63, 64-year-old. Bob Stoops has a staff. Here are a couple of the coaches on his staff already. You know they're under him. They're waiting on him. He's their guy. Bob Stoops, national championship football coach at the highest level in college football, Oklahoma, multiple great seasons, multiple championship games. Okay, that he didn't win as many as you wanted, but Oklahoma played exciting, winning football. Bob Stoops, when he was coaching college football at Oklahoma, was one of, if not the best coach going. He won a title in 2002, 2 years into turning Oklahoma around. He took over Oklahoma, and they were a hot mess. 2 years later, he won a title. He won a title 2 years later without the quickness of the portal, without the quickness of transfer. Bob Stoops, his Arizona Wrangler UFL roster / coaching staff that he just had several months ago. And by the way, these guys haven't been hired. These guys would follow Bob Stoops. They would certainly get a huge pay raise getting to big-time college football. Your head football coach would be Bob Stoops if I'm hiring. His offensive coordinator would be his longtime offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, who he won a national title with in college, a guy by the name of Chuck Long. Chuck Long would be the offensive coordinator. Bob Stoops, in place, already hired. His staff would include a defensive coordinator. Oh, by the way, Bob would help out on defense because he's a defensive guy. But Bob Stoops, his current defensive coordinator in the UFL, is a former NFL head coach by the name of Gray Williams. You would have Chuck Long, offensive coordinator, longtime college football coach, played in the NFL, has won a national title as a coach coordinator. He would be your OC. Your DC would be former head football coach in the NFL. And by the way, we saw the other night, Monday night, there is a difference to a degree between college coaches, Boston College, and NFL coaches, Bill O'Brien. Now, I would go get those guys, and just for you-know-whats and giggles, the special teams coach for the Arizona Wranglers, of which Bob Stoops last April was the head coach, the special teams coach is a young coach, up-and-coming coach by the name of Scott Spurrier. I don't know how that factors, but I'm just going to throw that out. That's what I would do if I was the University of Florida. Bob Stoops would be my hire. He's got a staff basically in place. You hang on, you interview all the existing guys at Florida. And I'm not saying he takes over the job today. No, let the season play out. Let Napier go. Let the world know you've let Napier go. Let the world know you are in the business of rebuilding Florida football. Let the athletic world know, every football player out there knows, man, this guy Bob Stoops is at Florida. He won big. He won and won big at Florida. Bob Stoops, by the way, could go on a 3-month PR tour for Florida football. He's not bound by anything. He can pop up on radio, TV, morning shows, afternoon show, whatever. That is what I would do. I think the Billy Napier-Florida marriage is over. I don't think it's repairable. And I'm going to tell you this before we go to break. Hear this, Gator Nation, and I hate to abdicate, and I'm not abdicating, root against your favorite team. That's a terrible position to be in. That is a terrible summation to even think about your nation, your fan base being in. But DJ Lagway is about to take over the quarterback position due to injury to Mertz, but it's going to speed that up. If DJ Lagway and his great skill set, he might be able to hide the Florida offensive line deficiency. If he does, if DJ Lagway takes the majority of the snaps the rest of the year, and DJ Lagway wins 3 or 4 games because Florida's just kind of better. They may be just kind of better than UCF. Hopefully they're just kind of better than Samford. They may be just better than UCF. They may be able to win a game or two in the SEC because they're just kind of better. But if DJ Lagway, because he is such a special player, he may himself and his skill set go out and upset a couple teams. He may go upset a Texas. He may go upset an LSU. He may go upset a Tennessee. If all that stuff goes together, you shake it up and you pull it out, and at the end of this football season, DJ-led University of Florida football has 6 wins, has 7 wins. A lot of people would say, okay, with that, you give Napier another year. No. I would say that's fool's gold. Lagway may bring some of those upset wins. I think Florida and Billy Napier need to shake hands, figure a number, pat each other on the ass, and separate. That's my thoughts. That's where I'm going to stay. If I'm proved wrong, I will eat crow. Let's take a break. Hopefully we've got Stuart Weber from Action Sports Jacks on the other side. I want to tap Stuart's brain. He was in Gainesville. He and I had pregame dinner together. We talked Florida, Miami. And obviously, Stuart, with our Action Sports Jacks team, he is dialed in with the Jaguars. What happened Sunday? What are the obstacles? What are the areas that maybe the Jaguars can exploit? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more, hopefully, with Stuart Weber from Action Sports Jacks on the other side. It is the Young and Norvelle Show coming to you live from our Thursday home. You know it by now, Sliders Oyster Bar.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
I'll tell you one thing, we got football all over the state of Florida coming up in the next several days, including way down south in Miami. Not the Hurricanes. I know they're still celebrating, but the Miami Dolphins will host the Jacksonville Jaguars. Big game Sunday. Tons of big games Sunday. The NFL gets started tonight. I want to talk some NFL, some Jaguars with our buddy Stuart Weber. Right here from Action Sports Jacks. Hello, Mr. Weber. Last we visited, you and I were having a nice pregame meal before Florida-Miami, and then it got a little ill. My stomach started getting ill after I watched the game, Stuart. What about the happenings in Gainesville with the Hurricanes and the Gators, Stuart?
Yeah, the pregame tacos might have been the highlight of the day for me. At Sal.
It was.
Yeah. It was rough. That was rough down there. Suffice to say, down on the field shooting the game Saturday in the swamp. And look, I enjoyed my trips to the swamp, but that was a rough one.
Yeah, Stuart, we'll stay with the college game for a moment. Yeah. I did not see that coming. I actually picked Florida. I thought the Gators' offensive line, with some movement, guys in the right spots from last year, would be much better. I didn't see it coming. Did you see the ass whipping coming that Miami gave Florida across the board? Other than the punter, I think Miami was better at every position on the football field, Stuart.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I would have gone if I would have expected to have happened. Now, I mean, good news, we got some DJ Lagway video, so we've got some of that from an inside the TV business standpoint. We got some of that to work off of, but yeah, I mean, it was not anything I saw coming either. So I was kind of figuring it was a toss-up. I don't know if Florida was going to win, but I figured they'd at least put up a fight and not look completely overmatched, which is, as you mentioned.
And Stuart, I want you to take a moment because I think a lot of us, you, me, our colleagues, regional, national, I think we're a little bit remiss in we are reminiscing from the game from the Gator perspective, how bad Florida looked. What about Miami? They looked well coached. They looked like they had a great plan. Their coaching staff was decisive. Florida never could get lined up. Miami looked like they knew what they were. Miami really looked like they used the 7-month offseason to their advantage. Miami looked like a buttoned-up team with a experienced quarterback. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I will say this. I am curious to see what Cam Ward's going to look like against a competent pass rush. Just that style of play that he has is, it makes a heart skip a beat, right, as you're watching it, because you don't know what the heck's going to happen. Is he going to throw an interception over the middle, which he did against the Gators on all those across the body throws? And look, he has said that that's his style. That's the way he likes to play. All right, that's great. But from a acid-inducing stomach issue kind of thing, I wouldn't want it to be my quarterback that I was watching play like that. But you know what? Yeah. Hey, I'm curious to see what they look like against some of the better teams from the ACC.
We're talking ball with obviously Stuart Weber from our station here, Action Sports Jacks. Stuart, we'll get to some NFL talk, some of the stuff we have coming up around the Jaguars pre and post and everything all season long. Your thoughts on Florida State? We all had to then kind of settle in on Monday night, and we had to take in Florida State's second game, and that was a bludgeoning. I mean, Stuart, your thoughts? You watched it. I watched it. We all watched it. The nation watched it. Where are the Seminoles? Can they salvage this season? They obviously play in the ACC, but I mean, their lines of scrimmage are just they're terrible on both lines of scrimmage right now. Stuart, did you see that coming? I did not with FSU.
Yeah, I didn't, and it certainly boils down to the quarterback position there as well. And when you're talking about these free agent 1-year quarterbacks. It was interesting. I think I saw it somewhere on social media. They were bringing up the point that Nick Saban made on College Game Day. You got to make sure you're paying the right guys. And maybe those payments should have gone to the trenches instead, where the football games are won, and put in one of your young, talented quarterbacks and see how that goes. But I also want to say, by the way, shout out to the pride of Waycross, Georgia, and Thomas Castellanos from Ware County in our DMA, our viewing area here in Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia. Game. So what a game, and he's a guy that, didn't make it at UCF, transfers to Boston College, and goes and starts 12 games there last year, runs for over 1,000, throws for 2,000, and shows that he's a dual threat guy. And then he comes into Tallahassee, into the state of Florida, where he couldn't make it at UCF, couldn't make it in Orlando, but he's doing just fine in the ACC and goes and gets a job done there.
And Stuart, truth be told, Castellanos at Boston College, he actually should be 2-0 against FSU. They probably should have won last year. He had them coming back. They just kind of ran out of they ran out of time. Hey, you brought up Castellanos on the heels of our Miami, Florida talk. I thought the Boston College offensive game plan, the approach, the style of play at quarterback, Castellanos versus Ward, I thought there were some similarities between Miami's approach on offense against Florida and Boston College. It was pretty to watch. Boston College seemed like they were calling plays one step ahead of the defensive calls on FSU. And I also, Stuart, I'd like you to comment on this. It looked like the talent between FSU and Boston College was comparable. It looked like they were pretty even talent-wise. And then it looked like an NFL coaching staff took a college coaching staff to the woodshed. That's what I saw Saturday, or Monday night, I should say.
Yeah, and I think the surprising part about that is just how quickly Bill O'Brien has been able to instill some of those thoughts. Because, look, you can be an NFL coaching staff as much as you want. You can have that experience in the league like Bill O'Brien does. It takes time for you to pass that on to these 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids that are playing for you now that aren't professionals, that have to go to Econ 101 on Thursday morning before you get ready for a game. So I think it's extremely impressive the way that they were able to pick it up so quickly.
Stuart, it really was. I'm glad you went there. No matter what happened in a short off season for Bill O'Brien, and I know Doug Marone's an analyst, he's got an NFL staff. They only had a few months. They were handed a roster, pretty much. They didn't get to construct that roster. They were handed a roster, and they said, "Okay, let's break our roster down. What do we do well? What do we not do well?" I thought they outcoached the FSU staff on Monday night. Very, very impressive.
By the way, they might have to continue to do that, by the way, simply because of the fact that there isn't a checkbook being opened up there at Boston College here like you're seeing at some of these other college programs.
Good point, man. I hate for Bill O'Brien, if you're correct, but can you imagine after that performance? And by the way, another killer thing for Florida State and their program, their first two football games were basically national Monday night games. They were the only game in town at noon against Georgia Tech. Everybody saw that game. They were the only game in town Monday night, and everybody saw that. But wouldn't you hate if Boston College is in the position you just said? They have guys around the country going, "Man, I wouldn't mind going to play for those guys." And they pick up their phone and say, "Coach, hey, I like what you're doing. I can help you. I've got this much money from this school. Can you match it?" And they have to go, "No.
We got all you can eat clam chowder." I mean,
yeah, yes.
Got that.
Wouldn't that be a shame? But you would understand it. But you make a good point, a real good point there. Hey, NFL football starts in a couple of hours here. The defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City. What a great game. My God, I know that Baltimore and Kansas City, they're in the same conference, so they can't play in the Super Bowl. Wouldn't the NFL love this to be a Super Bowl matchup? I mean, this game is dripping with drama. We'll get into some of the matchups, but can't wait for tonight's ball game.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, right? I mean, if you're the NFL, you want to come out and you want to showcase your star players. And And look, it doesn't get much more star power at the quarterback position than Mahomes versus Lamar. I mean, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. And for those of us here in Northeast Florida, it is time to celebrate because for the first time in his entire professional career, Derrick Henry's not in the AFC South. So we get a chance to watch the Yulee Bulldozer play for a different team, not against the Jags.
You can actually cheer for him. And
for now,
even if he's not playing the Jags, his win is not hurting the Jags, right?
Correct.
That obviously we know Kansas City, all the storylines and all the pomp and circumstance and all the trophies. I'm terribly interested in Baltimore. Does Derrick have anything in the gas tank still? He's a physical running back. He's got a lot of miles on the odometer. If he has anything left in the gas tank, and we know Lamar Jackson, he's going to get some yardage rushing the football. I'll tell you one thing. If the Ravens can carve out 175 to 200 yards a game in the NFL with those two beasts, I mean, they're going to be a tough answer. It's going to be fun to watch what Derrick Henry and how do they game plan him, do you think, Stuart? What do they do game plan-wise? You don't want to take the ball out of Lamar's hands, but you got Derrick Henry there.
You got to feel bad for any NFL defense that has to make a decision on that snap instant in the backfield when Lamar has the option to either pitch it to a bruising running back who is going to stiff arm you into the turf or is going to juke you into oblivion as the best running quarterback in the NFL and take off for another 20, 30, 40 yards just like that in a snap. So you talk about whether or not Derrick Henry still has that juice in the tank. Well, I do think that having this different scheme, look, he's not on the Titans anymore. He doesn't have to worry about a defense saying, oh, Will Levis isn't going to hurt us. Let's stack the box and worry about Derrick Henry. Well, you can't do that against Lamar Jackson. You have to worry about what he can do with his legs and his arm, and I think that certainly is going to benefit Derrick tonight and all season.
And, Stuart, I think it was only 1 year ago, this game was Detroit opening up with Kansas City. And damn if Detroit didn't go out and beat Kansas City, I think, last year. That didn't slow Kansas City down. Obviously, if you're the Chiefs, you're to the point where get into the tournament and then turn it on. But what a good game tonight! What do you make of tomorrow's game with all the games in Brazil? There's all kind of safety concerns, and now I had some guys tell me, Stuart, about an hour ago before we went on the air. They said, "Oh, by the way, there's another major issue in Brazil with the NFL." I said, "What are you talking about?" And they said, well, Brazil, whatever soccer league they play in, they're in one of these big soccer leagues, obviously, because that's a big sport. They're big sport. The biggest rival for the Brazilian soccer team, their dominant color is green. And the word is the Brazilians hate the color green. And the two NFL teams that are coming over wear predominantly green. What's going on with this game over there? The NFL doesn't miss very often, but, man, I think the NFL is ready to get those two teams, play the game, and get back home and get out of this international situation.
I don't know. I don't read too much into that. Having done the London game now 8 or 9 times, I've been over there to go cover that thing.
Right.
Look, the NFL knows what it's doing as far as just turning this into an event and then just making this an event where 80, 90,000 people want to come up and watch a little football, watch something different. I bet it's going to be just like a London game at Wembley where you're going to be able to play bingo with all 32 NFL rosters on your hand, and you can go look and see every team represented somewhere in the stands because, look, there's plenty of expats in London. I'm sure there's quite a few down in South America that are going to want to go watch their NFL or just go for the event. I mean, that's really what it is. It's just a huge event and a chance for them to go and enjoy a night and see something they're not used to seeing. I get what you're saying, and I know that when it comes to rivalries, especially in the game of football as opposed to football, you got to worry about what colors you're wearing to certain games for sure. But I think the Kelly green and the Packer green will be just fine and dandy. Green, by the way, is a color in the Brazilian flag, so they should be all right with it.
There you go. Hey, come on, Brazilians. Stuart, if you don't mind, hang with us here. I want to stretch this segment a little bit longer so we don't have to go to break. Obviously, big game Sunday. Jaguars stay in the state of Florida. They go down to Miami. The Dolphins, all that offense. The Dolphins so close last year Tua with the big contract. The two slot receivers are a handful. Let's spend a few minutes talking about the Jaguars opener. Just some early off-the-cuff things that you recognize going into the game that concern you, that the Jaguars may have the advantage of. Just an overview to get us started with Jaguars Dolphins Sunday, 1 o'clock in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, the first game in an NFL season is always probably the hardest one to predict for the entire year. I mean, you can watch as many training camp practices as you want. You can watch a glimpse of some starters in the preseason and maybe get like 1% of a picture and figure something out there. But really that first game when they head out there and it really counts and it shows what it means, that's what's going to tell you what the season's going to look like. And, not the entire season, but certainly gives you a taste of it and an idea of what to expect. And look, for me, I mean, I've said it in the offseason. I'll continue to say it. I want to see what the offensive line has done to improve itself. I know they obviously changed out some personnel and get Mitch Morse in there in the center, replacing Luke Fortner. But how much does that one kind of change? And you get Ezra Cleveland there at the guard spot too. But how much does that one change give you the ability to work up the middle, whether that's giving it to ETN and seeing if he can run it up the middle, or just keeping those guys standing tall so that Trevor has some time in the backfield and can connect with his targets. I mean, that is going to be the big question mark to me. Now, you benefit a little bit in the fact that Chubb's not playing for the Dolphins. Heck, we missed both Chubbs, week 1 and week 2, for the Dolphins and the Browns. We're missing out on both of those guys this year. But I do want to see Trevor back at it, back behind that offensive line, and see if he can hold up and get some time to do what he needs to do.
And I'm with you. The offensive line scares me to death. I'm with you in terms of Morse. I understand why they went and plugged in they needed to do something at center. I worry that a guy that's 10 years or more in the league with legs that have been 10 years or more in the league, that's a young man's league. That's a guy in their 20s league.
It is, but it's a grown man's position though in the NFL when you're talking about those offensive linemen.
Yes, it is. Your thoughts? Did the Jaguars do enough? Are they ahead of the game? Are they even? Or are they behind the receiving core? Ridley's gone. Gabe Davis comes in. The high draft choice steps in. Thomas. Where's your 2024 Jaguars receiving room? Where's your thought process on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at like a like-for-like comparison, remember last year going into the year, we were all very excited around Jacksonville, just at the prospect of that kind of big three receivers when you're talking about Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and Calvin Ridley. And, well, Zay Jones got hurt. Calvin Ridley was inconsistent. And as a result, and obviously Christian Kirk got hurt at the end of the year, so all three of them weren't able to live up to that full expectation and to be able to, go out there and play 17 games and do what they're supposed to do. So I do think you're excited about the way this receiving core looks, at least from those top three guys. Now, after those top three, then you start to have some question marks, right? Will Parker Washington take any steps forward and be involved at all in that offense as a guy that isn't the tallest guy, isn't the fastest guy, but he's a good football player. And can he continue to learn from Christian Kirk and advance in his role? Devin Duvernay, are they going to use a lot of gadget stuff with him and showcase his abilities there? Tim Jones is a special teams guy. So you're really counting on those top three wide receivers. Now, do you like those top three? Yeah, you love those top three wide receivers. Will they stay healthy and stay productive over the course of the year?
I hate to do a well, duh moment here, but we're visiting with Stuart Weber from Action Sports Jacks, obviously breaking down some Jaguars Dolphins coming up on Sunday. Well, duh, boy, if the Jaguars are going to have a strength unit, and the units are quarterback, running back, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, secondary. If the Jaguars are going to have a strength unit this year, man, it looks like they've done good stuff on the defensive line. This defensive line could be the unit that kicks the door down in games they win. If Armstead can come in and give them something, I think we're going to know at the end of the year what Trayvon Walker is. It looked like he was becoming the Trayvon Walker they drafted, and we know what they've got in Hines Allen. defensive line, and, teams have won Super Bowls all defense. See the Ravens from years ago. Clearly the Jaguars' best unit, wouldn't you say, going in is that defensive line potentially?
I think so, especially, but again, it's like that wide receiver room, right? It's that top end talent. And the thing with those defensive linemen is it's all about waves. And you talk about the pass rush, and yes, you have, maybe the best duo of pass rushers in the NFL, and Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, and the fact that both of them put up double-digit sacks a year ago. You throw in Eric Armstead, who's going to be playing both, right? He's going to be a little bit of that defensive tackle position, but he's also listed in that depth chart as a guy who's going to play some defensive end as well, along with a rookie in Miles Cole. So, after that, that's it. That's all you got for defensive ends. Now it's stacked with a lot of those middle-of-the-line guys, the nose tackles and defensive tackles, guys who are going to provide that beef and size. Devon Hamilton, hopefully back from his injury and at full force. Roy Robertson-Harris playing with a little chip on his shoulder. Certainly those guys can make a huge impact in the middle as far as stopping that run from the other side. The thing for me that I think is the biggest thing is the fact that they bring in Ryan Nielsen as the new defensive coordinator. Yeah. If you went to any of the training camp practices as a fan, you watch Ryan Nielsen, one, because he's got that mustache going. A very spectacular mustache.
Nice, Stuart. Nice.
But if you're looking at Ryan Nielsen at any practice, he is locked in on that defensive line, helping them with pass rush moves, helping them with these minute technical details. And look, with the Falcons a year ago as their defensive coordinator, he doubled their sack total. Now, can the Jaguars double their sack total? That's a tough ask, right? It's tough to ask that for anybody. But if you see market improvement, not just from the top two guys, but coming from other spots in that defense, I think that makes a huge difference in this NFL.
Doing a little research, and we got a few more moments here with Stuart Weber from Action Sports Jacks visiting with us about a number of football topics, including Jaguars and Dolphins. Doing a little research this morning. Shame on me, it kind of passed me by. 2 new defensive coordinators. Dolphins' new defensive coordinator. Jaguars' new defensive coordinator. Dolphins are tough at home now. They're 13-4, their last 17 at home, 6-1 in September. But I got to believe a lot of those September games were northern teams coming in. The weather really shouldn't. I mean, good Lord, the weather here. We saw the Hurricanes rolling into Gainesville. I don't think the weather beat the Gators. I think the talent beat the Gators. Those numbers may be a little misleading. The Jaguars are going to jump on a quick 42-minute flight up and 42-minute flight down, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. I do think, and look, if you're the Jaguars, for years you have touted that home field advantage in September, and so have the Dolphins, right? So it's a moot point between the two, simply because of the fact that they're training in the same conditions. They're training in the same Florida heat, humidity, and all that. So, and I'm from South Florida. It might be a little, just a scotch more humid down there and hotter, but they're very comparable and very much. I don't think that plays into it too much.
They're not bringing the Seahawks from Seattle with no humidity down here. Stuart, thank you very much. I want to get you on our show a lot more to share your insight as we go all year, football season, things like that. Can you catch us up, our viewers up? I know we've got a lot of stuff planned with Action Sports Jacks this weekend. The Jaguars season, Sunday mornings, afternoons, pregame, postgame. Catch us up on what all we're going to see on Action Sports Jacks.
Yeah, we are all over the map, my friend, and it starts with high school football on Fridays, and we're actually trying something fun tonight. Our game of the week got moved from Friday to Thursday night, so we decided, you know what, we're going to stream that thing on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network tonight. So we're going to have Bartram Trail on the road at Ware County up in Waycross, Georgia, the home of Thomas Castellanos, by the way. We'll have that game coming up tonight at 7:30 here on the 24/7 network. We've also got Jaguars All Access at 7 o'clock live from String Sports Brewery tonight with Foye Aluakon's the guest on that show tonight. That's at 7, both on Fox 30. And we're going to be streaming it right here on this 24/7 stream is kind of our game plan. Whenever we can with these shows, we're going to put them on the stream as well as on broadcast TV for the folks at home. Tomorrow, high school football. We go from 8 to midnight, 4 straight hours. The Friday night zone blitz. Think red zone, but high school football. So we've got 5 matchups. We're going to be bouncing from game to game here on the 24/7 network. Saturday, we got, our college football show kicks off 7:30 to 8 o'clock. College football tonight. We'll give you all the big storylines there. And then Sunday,
Nice.
we got pregame at 11:30 a.m., the game, of course, on our network as well, and then postgame for an hour after that thing wraps up. So we got it all covered.
And that's pretty much consistent.
Every week.
Obviously, kickoffs will change a little bit, but those shows and those times per se will be consistent. Real quick, you've got a good handle on this. Ware County, is that one of the better Georgia schools? Are they? I mean, Bartram, Ware County tonight. What do we think?
Yeah, Ware County won the state title 2 years ago up in Georgia, and it is without a doubt one of the best environments in our area. And you have to say in our area a little loosely because it's a solid drive. I know our Action Sports Jacks' Marcel Robinson making that drive as we speak, heading all the way up there to Waycross to go provide our coverage from up there. But it is one of the cooler stadium environments. They took an old baseball stadium and kind of converted it into a football stadium. So you have some seats that kind of curl around the back of one of the end zones, in addition to your normal bleachers on both sides of the football field as well. So it's a really cool setup. Everybody there gets jazzed up about their high school football. It means a ton to that community, and it'll be a fun atmosphere tonight.
And high school means a lot to our area. Friday nights in high school football around here is special. Stuart, before we let you go, get back to what show is Aluakon on? Go back to that real quick because I want to throw something. I want to throw a PSA at that show. But what show is he on?
That's tonight on Jaguars All Access, 7 o'clock on Fox 30.
Now, will we be handing out helmets if any viewers are there? Because Aluakon, he's going to tackle somebody, right? That's all he does is tackle people.
He is a tackling machine. Pass out some helmets, and if you're in the area, go watch the show live. It's at String Sports Brewery in Springfield. Of course, you can go there, check it out, do some autographs afterwards. He does for the kids, so go check it out tonight at 7 o'clock.
Wear a helmet. Hey,
bring your helmet because you might get tackled.
And a quick plug to Scotty Deeve and the good folks at Strings. The Strings at the beach. I go by it on Penman Road a lot. It's coming along, folks.
Yeah, one of our shows, by the way, I believe our Thursday night show or a Monday night show is going to shift to the beach location when it opens. So we're excited for that.
It is coming along. Stuart, I know you're busy, buddy. Thanks so much. We hope to do this a lot more with you and our entire Action Sports team. Thank you, buddy.
You got it.
Appreciate you. That is Stuart Weber. I had a good visit with him in the press box pregame before Florida and Miami. He was working hard. He's dialed in. Our entire staff is dialed in. It's football season, folks. High school, college, and the NFL. And you heard Stuart talk about it. You can always find it on the website. Just go to Action News Jacks. That is the big website. You can click on our logo, Action Sports Jacks. Find out everything we've got going on and whatever show's on at the time. Like right now, if you click on Action Sports Jacks, you're going to go right to our show. So you can follow us. We're real proud of the staff we put together and the brevity, the volume that we're able to get out and get to you. High school means a lot to us. College football, college athletics means a lot to us. And, of course, the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars, that means a lot. We got a lot of people checking in. Gator Nation says Deion or Stoops or you, Norvelle. No, I'm out of the coaching game, but I think Bob Stoops will be a great 5-year plan for the Gators. Great interview. Thank you so much, Gator Nation. We appreciate that. It's easy when you're talking to people like Stuart Weber, who really knows sports, and we appreciate Stuart taking some time out of his busy day. He's got a tough, busy evening and rest of the weekend, but thank you so much to Stuart Weber. Let's regroup. Let's take a break. Halfway done, halfway to go. It is a Thursday edition. If it's Thursday, well, you know where I'm set up at. I'm on the patio right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. The best seafood, the freshest seafood can be found right here at Sliders, from the dock to your plate. It's right there and right here. They prepare it the way you like it. I guarantee you that at Sliders Oyster Bar. One down, one to go. We'll come back, more topics, get back into Florida. The coaching situation, where I think it's going to go. Major League Baseball, boy, 25-ish games left, and there are only really two storylines right now. Baseball at the Major League level has separated itself so much. There are only two storylines. There's one division race up for grabs still, I think, and there's one wild card spot up for grabs, and that involves the Atlanta Braves. You Brave fans, hang tight. We'll talk baseball on the other side. One down, one to go. Terry Norvelle coming to you on a Thursday from Sliders Oyster Bar.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
And dry, even though that looks like there's a lot of rain in and around downtown Jacksonville. I'm high and dry on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar, our Thursday location. Tomorrow, down at Bricks Jack's Beach, we move it down to Jack's Beach. As every day of the week, we have a wonderful location sponsor. We hope you come by and say hi on days we're broadcasting or getting by and, really taking care of the advertisers that take care of us by patronizing our locations. Real quick, if you don't know where we are at, the Young and Norvelle Show, throughout the week, every single Monday, this coming Monday, we'll be right back in San Marco. Beautiful, beautiful, historic San Marco. We are at Fourscore Golf Tavern in San Marco, a fun sports kind of themed place with a big-time restaurant in the front. Patrick and I have gone through the menu. Great food, Four Score Golf Tavern, the Monday location. We're there every Monday right here on the Young and Norvelle Show. Tuesday, we take it to Mandarin. We have really enjoyed our 2 months now with our new Tuesday home. We are at Hurricanes Jointon Creek, the location down in the heart of Mandarin. Great wings, hence the name, but a wonderful taco offering on their menu. Great sports owners. They get the feel. Josh and Callie, they kind of know the lay of the land, when to make it a huge weekend with tents out front, and which particular games to highlight, specials. They do a lot of entertainment, trivia, our show. You can't go wrong if you're in the heart of Mandarin Tuesdays at Hurricanes Jointon Creek. Our Wednesday home, you know by now, it is world famous in our area. The one and only, the first ever Twin Peaks location. Tremendous food, scratch kitchen. They open up their kitchen. You can see right into the kitchen. Tremendous TV with setups or setup of TVs. And you can't talk Twin Peaks without referencing the Twin Peaks girls. They are so hospitable. They take great care of you. They're on it. They know what they're doing. A wonderful, wonderful menu. 29-degree draft beer. One of the things they're famous for, of course, they're really famous for the Twin Peaks girls. If you know, you know. If you don't know, get by Twin Peaks any day. But we are there live on Wednesdays. That is our Wednesday home. Thursday, of course, right here, Sliders Oyster Bar. The good folks at Sliders have taken great care of me. Any show we've got involved with, they've taken care of this show with Patrick Young. We tip our hat to Sean, the Wootons, the owners of Sliders Oyster Bar, and, of course, Safe Harbor Seafood. They are always there supporting what we do. We appreciate and love our Thursday location. We're here every Thursday, 4 to 6, happy hour at Sliders Oyster Bar. And then on Friday, we wind it down in Jacksonville Beach. It's a fun Friday location. Kind of everybody kind of knocks off a little early on Friday, particularly if you're in and around the beach and you get by Bricks, you have a cold beer. The Friday ribeye special is legendary, $12.99 ribeye steak with 2 sides. That is a fun Friday end of week kind of broadcast location for us. I know I speak for Patrick Young. We enjoy our Fridays down at Bricks Jacks Beach with Jason Reynolds and his staff. We'll be there tomorrow. I hope you can join us. So that kind of sets up our show for new people. I want to get back to the show here. Second hour, some topics we want to cover. It's going to be an interesting day in Gainesville. It's going to be an interesting day in Gainesville Saturday night, I should say. Gators are going to win the game. They're going to beat Samford. DJ Lagway will get the start. And you would like to see now, I mean, you hate to bury seniors and you hate to bury seniors and veterans on your college football team. But right now, it doesn't look like Florida is going to win a lot of football games. With that said, they may win 1 or 2 more, and they may also check a few boxes by letting DJ Lagway play a lot of football in terms of getting him ready for next year. You would like now to see, if you're going to lose football games anyway, lose with young talent, and then hopefully next year, DJ Lagway, will he or will he not come back to Florida? I'm putting the cart way before the horse. I think Florida's going to blow out Billy Napier. I think the marriage is done. I think they should blow out Billy Napier. I don't care if somehow, some way, this Florida football program, this Florida football team won enough games to get into a bowl game, won a bowl game. I think that would be fool's gold. Then, with that being the case, you hate to bury Graham Mertz. He's been a good doobie. He's been a good soldier coming to Florida. But I think the rest of the year, goal number 1 is you may be sitting on a really, really special player. I mean, the small sample size against Miami the other day in Gainesville, DJ Lagway kind of has it. the ball jumps out of his hand. He's got a quick release. You either kind of have that or you don't. You can try to coach that in and coach that out if you got a long looping release. We saw with Tim Tebow. It's hard to coach out the natural way you throw. The natural throwing motion is hard to change. DJ Lagway has got a quick throwing motion. He's decisive. He throws the ball. He's hell of an athlete. He seems to have a quick motor mentally. I think wins and losses, sure, they're important. Of course, we keep score and we keep wins and losses. I'm not so sure that the development of DJ Lagway is not first and foremost for the rest of the Florida football season. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games, and I think it's time to make a move. You look at Billy Napier, and do you blame Billy Napier for where Florida football's at? Let me say that again. Gator Nation, do you blame Billy Napier for the past 2 seasons that were sub 500? Do you blame Billy Napier for what looks like year 3 of which we just started? Do you blame Billy Napier for what looks like probably another sub 500 season? Do you? Who do you blame? I don't necessarily blame Billy Napier. Let me back up. I don't think anything, I'm trying to think of anything that Billy Napier brought to the Florida program, that he instituted at the Florida program. I'm not so sure anything that Billy Napier brought to Gainesville with him has worked. But I still don't blame him for where Florida football's at. I will get to that in a moment. Let me backtrack. Billy Napier, some of the things that he has implemented as a head football coach at the Power 5 level, that these things I'm going to point out have not been done basically by anyone in the 155, 60 years of college football. In no particular order. Billy Napier went into his career at Florida and did not have a dedicated special teams coach. Has that happened before in college football? Occasionally here and there. But across the board, generally, on your coaching staff, you have a dedicated special teams coach. Billy Napier, not so much. Huge fail, in my opinion. In the history of college football, I know a couple of years ago, ESPN was running a history of college football the first 150 years, which tells me college football has been around about 155 or 160 years. Billy Napier, in addition to no dedicated special teams coach, he thought he was smarter than the previous 160 years because he thought not one offensive line coach, but 2 offensive line coaches are the way to go. Absolute disaster. Billy Napier, and he borrowed this a little bit, I think, from Nick Saban, so I can't fault him totally, but did Billy Napier go over the top with a football staff, a off-the-field football staff the size of a small army? Billy Napier got to Florida, and literally, if you grab the old school media guide, if you get on electronically and start going down Florida football, the administration, the support staff, Billy Napier has a support staff the size of a small army. I think it's been a disaster. Too many of them, too many Indians, not enough Chiefs, just too spread out. And I get it that Saban kind of did that, but I think Napier took it to the nth degree. And frankly, you wonder, is the organization too big? I think it is. I think Billy Napier's organization that he created is so big that he and his number 1, number 2, number 3 lieutenants, I don't think they can rein it in. I think it's so big that it's a detriment. So I think that was a fail. Billy Napier, his game management in Florida has been an ultra fail. He has struggled entering his 3rd year. He struggles managing in-game situations. Disaster. Billy Napier, and this could kind of morph into what I just said, but I'm going to have it as a standalone. Billy Napier, as the offensive coordinator of his Florida football program, he has been the final voice of I'll call it feel for the game. Feel for the game. Napier has struggled and failed mightily. Billy Napier has had 2 or 3 times per season going into year 3 where anybody listening to the Gator game, watching the Gator game, in person at the Gator game could tell that Florida was dominating X, and they did not need to get away from X. But Billy Napier has had such a poor feel of the game going on around him, he got away from X. Maybe they were pounding the ball down an opponent's throat, and he decided to pass 8 out of the first 9 plays in the second half in Tallahassee. Maybe they were pounding the ball down the opponent's throat. Maybe Florida State in Gainesville last year. Maybe at one point against Georgia in Jacksonville, pounding the ball, running the ball. And Billy Napier decided in Tallahassee, in Jacksonville, separate years, separate games. I got an idea. I've got a feel for the game. This is a point where we need to run a double reverse throwback pass. Miserable feeling for the game. I think he's failed there. Billy Napier, it was pretty apparent this offseason with all of his failures as the head coach trying to administer the coaching game, if you will, he never, it appeared, considered hiring an offensive coordinator. Being involved in the offense, I'm not saying you get away from the offense. You can be there and you can talk plays through. But obviously, Billy Napier most likely needed to go find a grizzled veteran offensive coordinator. He didn't do that. We're in the 3rd year. He's calling it all. And then finally, in terms of did anything Napier implemented, has anything Billy Napier implemented really worked in Gainesville? I say no. Talent acquisition. That comes to recruiting high school talent, fail. Bringing in portal talent, okay, he's had a hit or two. Ricky Pearsall was a hit. Montrell Johnson was a hit. You can hit here and there, but when you're done with your here and there hits in terms of talent acquisition for Napier at Florida, let's get to the misses. How many big, fat, sloppy, not ready for SEC play linemen did Napier bring in on the offensive side? And it looks like on the defensive side. I'm sorry, but the Cam Jacksons and these guys from Louisville and Memphis on the defensive side, Cam Waits, Damian George, it appears, just big, fat, sloppy, not SEC level linemen. When it comes to talent acquisition, I think he's failed. I don't know where he has hit anything right. With that said, I can't get deep into this, but I'm telling you, there's some smoke kind of billowing around the Florida program that Napier might not make it out of the weekend. That we may not get to Monday morning and Billy Napier is still the head football coach at the University of Florida. I think a move needs to be made. I'm not so sure that Florida is in a position right now to throw their hat in the ring for the top level of coach that it would take right now. With that said, I might look at this situation. If I was running Florida football, I might look at this situation and go, okay, first and foremost, we need to stabilize the situation. Florida's losing a bunch of football games year after year after year. The Gators are losing more than they win. They're not 500. The Florida football program, if you're an older guy like you, like me, it's easy to get romantically or stay romantically tied to Florida football. No. Florida football, it has panache. It has status. If you throw the Gator brand out there, the player, the prospective coach, they look and they listen. Guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Florida football does not have the panache that a lot of you think it has, I think. It does not command the respect by the young player, the young player's handler, be it parent, be it coach. Florida football right now financially does not have the panache. I'm not so sure, and that's why I've said Bob Stoops could be the short-term answer. I'm not so sure. If I was running Gator football, I would worry about a short-term stabilize the program. Go out and go win 8, 9 games, 8, 9, 10 games for a couple years in a row, stabilize, and then go shopping. Because I don't think a lot of people are jumping into the shopping lane to buy Florida football to the degree that Gator Nation thinks. I don't think it's a great job right now. I do believe I hear Patrick Young. I'll tell you what, Pat, hang tight, get settled. We're up against a break. We'll take a break, come back. We'll reset the show, get your thoughts on some of the topics we've talked about. I've got Billy Napier fired. I think Florida needs to make the move. I'll have you think about that, Pat, and we'll talk about your perspective on the other side. It is a Young and Norvelle show. Of course, Thursday editions mean Sliders Oyster Bar. Back after this quick timeout.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Well, a lot of good topics today on the program. We enjoy it. I want to thank Stuart Weber for spending some time talking college and NFL. Jaguars with us. A lot of topics, a lot of controversial topics, including, I think, Billy Napier's days are over at Florida. There's a little smoke coming out of Gainesville as we welcome Patrick Young. Pat, how you doing, buddy? Hey, good to see you, man. What's going on?
I'm okay. Could be better, could be worse.
Okay, that sounds like all of us.
This rain,
you know?
this rain is got me a little glum.
Yeah, be careful. Hey, be careful driving and driving in the rain. And I like rain, but yeah, it came down pretty hard when I was driving a little earlier, mid afternoon. Pat, I've come not full circle, but I'm pretty much in the camp of and I can't really get deep into it. I don't have 3 sources that I feel comfortable, even 2 sources that I would go with this, but man, there's a lot of smoke coming out of Gainesville, or some smoke that that Napier, the writing's on the wall, and he's done at Florida. I don't know what that means. Does that mean, this weekend? Does that mean mid-season? But I don't really see a way, considering I don't know if anything.
What does that mean for Scott Strickland, Derek?
Yeah, and you wonder about that. But Pat, I'll let you answer any direction you want to go. I don't really see anything that Billy Napier himself, stylistically, that he has introduced to the Florida program that other college programs have never used, that has worked at Florida. He's had some unique ideas. No special teams coach, 2 offensive line coaches, this staff size. I don't think anything that he has implemented has worked in his going into 3 years now.
Yeah, nothing that you can say is really going into his favor to be like, okay, I might not necessarily agree with it, but I understand. Like, Todd Golden is a very analytics-based coach, and he does some things that most traditional coaches don't do, but those things have worked in his favor, even though defensively they've been terrible. You can see, okay, this is why coaches playing these, like, you can understand and see, because there's always going to be a disadvantage in any sport, something that you do. There's no offense or defense or special teams that covers everything. But until you can establish that identity of that's who you are, which I don't think the Gators have done in 3 years.
Yeah.
Are we an air raid team? Are we a run heavy team? Are we a getting to the quarterback team? Are we a team that does funky stuff, and it's like, look, Les Miles was known for doing something funky on special teams every now and then, right?
Absolutely, he was. He was the master at it.
What is the identity of Florida football?
I have no idea. No idea. Good. Hey, Patrick, great point. And going back to your sport, basketball, and Todd Golden, last year, and I get it, you've got some – in football, you don't really have practice games, right? They all count. In basketball, those November, December games can be a little bit of practice. They count. You know what I'm talking about. But if we go back to Todd Golden and Gator basketball team, November, December of last year, if I remember correctly, and I think I do, help me out, Patrick, Todd Golden started looking at his team, and I think he identified we may not be great on defense. You know what? Yeah. And Zion Pullen, I don't think he was running the point the majority of the games early in the year. But I think Todd Golden went, wait a minute, we're not going to be great on defense. We better go score a boatload of points. And he put a team that said, okay, we may not hold you under 75, but we're going to score over 80.
We're going to score over 80. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
they lost games doing that because they would run into some games and teams that could outscore them because that hole that they had was exposed from time to time, but then it also kept them in a lot of games.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem, going back to Coach Napier, I hate, you hate to say it, like, what is their identity? Do we have a great offensive line? God, no.
No.
Is it that helps run, that helps pass, air raid, zone defense, man defense? Yeah. From that one game, it just seemed like they were trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
As they were going.
Yeah. Yeah, we broke it down a lot. And if you're Billy Napier and you were a coach, and this is his first big job, obviously he was at Louisiana, but this is his first big job. If you're at your first big job and several of the coaching decisions you make are totally against the grain of college football, nobody, for the most part, Patrick, has ever gone into a season, well, we don't have a dedicated special teams coach. We don't have one offensive line coach. We have two. We have an army of support staff, maybe too many people that you can even manage. I don't manage the game well in game. I don't have a feel for the game. I didn't go get an offensive coordinator to help me. All this plays in. If you're losing, it's amplified, and he's losing, and all and all that stuff is amplified. You go, who doesn't have a special teams coach, especially when you're 5-7? Obviously, you're not doing it right, and I think he's opened himself up to just great criticism. Patrick, great
criticism, Terry. Oh my gosh, yeah. And look, and it's sad. I was texting with a buddy, and I'm not sure, you may have said this or my mom said this, but coaches rather lose their way than win somebody else's.
Oh, they're stubborn.
They much rather win, right?
Oh, you're so right, Patrick. I've said since I've been in this business now 25, 30 years, it has just like a light blinking. And your mom's right. Your buddy, whoever said that, is right. Hey, and I'll use football as the example. You will never, ever, ever in your life, wherever your life takes you, up, down, in, out, United States, abroad, you will never find a more stubborn person than a football coach. They are stubborn. They know the way to do it. You can't tell them the way to do it. They are steadfast, and they're locked into their way. They are the most stubborn people in the world, and it looks like it's going to bite Napier. Now, if he made some changes, maybe Florida just doesn't have enough good players, but he's in charge of talent acquisition too, and I think he failed miserably in his going into third year talent acquisition. They've got a lot of big, sloppy linemen. But Patrick, getting back, I know you dropped off. Football coaches and coaches in general are the most stubborn people in the history of mankind. And I think we lost your audio there, Patrick, a little bit there. But your mom's right. They are so stubborn, and I think Napier's going down with the ship. He obviously should have hired an offensive coordinator to help him with game plan, just to help him out a little bit. I'm of the belief now, Patrick. I think it's a matter of when, not if. I think he's a dead man coaching, and I'm not so sure. I'm hearing a little smoke. I'm not so sure Florida doesn't make a move this weekend. This weekend after the Samford game. Pat, we may still have you muted a little bit, I think. But anyway, obviously we got a long time to talk about him. The one guy that I am intrigued about, if I was Florida, I'm not so sure they can go hire a home run hire right now. I don't know if Florida is in a position to command a home run hire. With that said, what do? Well, you might want to think short-term, long-term. If you're the University of Florida, if you're whoever the president is, interim president, next president, athletic director, next athletic director, board of trustees, you may want to approach this thing as, we're not ready to hire the next home run guy. We can't command that. We don't have the panache for that. Let's stabilize our program. With that said, I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into thinking who would be a coach out there that you could go to that could give you some panache right away, that could stabilize the program. And when I say stabilize the program, 5 to 7 years, start winning 8 games. Florida doesn't win 8 games. They don't win 9 games. Start winning 8, 9, occasionally 10 games over a 5 or 6 year period, and then go try and hire the next Steve Spurrier. Then go try and hire the next Grand Slam hire. Now, with all that said, you've got names, of course, Urban Meyer, Jimbo Fisher. I don't think the Florida program, and I do not think the Gator Nation will accept another hire of an up-and-coming. Well, we're going to hire Joe whoever, up-and-coming coach from Southern Miss. I don't think that's the way to go. If they're not ready to hire the hot guy right now, and I don't think the Florida football program is in that position, Patrick, I've done research this morning. I would go hire, if he would take the job, I would have the head ball coach get on the phone, and I would have Steve Spurrier call his buddy, Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops has been out of coaching for 5 or 6 years, 6 or 7 years. Bob Stoops has coached and won national titles. Bob Stoops is a current football coach because he's coaching in the UFL. Bob Stoops has a staff put together. Bob Stoops has Chuck Long, who helped him win a national title at Oklahoma as an offensive coordinator. Bob Stoops, his staff at the UFL, he has a former NFL head coach as a defensive coordinator, Greg Williams. I would go say, Bob Stoops, this is Steve Spurrier. Bob, why don't you come to Gainesville for 5 to 6 years and help stabilize the program? Bring your staff. It'll be seamless. That's what I would do if I was Florida football. Call me crazy, Patrick. Call me anything you want. Go ahead.
Why not even B2? Is it not big enough to go and try and grab Mark Stoops? I think he's done a fantastic job at Kentucky. But I think he's done and you know, obviously he's not able to recruit as well at Kentucky for football. I mean, he's beating Florida.
Patrick, I will say
that's not a bad. I like both of your choices.
It's funny you said this, and I'm gonna take my notepad, and you won't be able to see this, but I'm showing my notepad today's show. I'm scribbling and all, but I'm gonna underline where my index finger is right here tapping. I've listed a lot of names. Bob Stoops is a guy. I think he's got a staff in place. He was coaching football back in April. But my index finger right there in red ink says Mark Stoops, 57. He's 57 years old. He's won at Kentucky, for God's sakes. If you had to go, I would go get a Mark Stoops before I would go get a next hot guy at Eastern Kentucky. Florida's tried the next hot guy, and it hasn't worked. And I'll tell you another thing, Patrick. Some people, when I talk about Bob Stoops, they say, wait a minute, how old is he? Bob Stoops is like 63, 64 years old. He's a young 64 years old, but he is. Now, my comeback to that would be, let me tell you something, Gator Nation. If you think Bob Stoops in his 60s is too old, Florida's tried the 40-year-old guy, and they've failed miserably multiple times, right? Zook was in his 40s. McElwain was in his 40s. Muschamp was in his 40s. Napier is in his 40s. Well, let me tell you something. If you think the 60-year-old guy is too old, the 40-year-old guy hasn't worked in Gainesville, right? The 40-year-old guy has been a disaster. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Yeah, those guys have been a disaster.
Absolutely.
I think Bob Stoops would be the
That's
perfect
what it
guy.
looks like.
I think Bob Stoops could win. And I will tell you another thing. My pitch to Bob Stoops would be, hey, Bob, let's talk. And this is Steve Spurrier. Because Spurrier brought Bob Stoops was Spurrier's D coordinator when he won his first and only national title. They're very close. Bob Stoops and Steve Spurrier are very close. If I'm Steve Spurrier, I call Bob up and say, Bob, Florida could use you. You're in coaching.
Obviously, Bob still wants to coach.
He's coaching right now. You've got a staff put together that most of them would come. By the way, his staff, Chuck Long, Greg Williams, Scott Spurrier is his offensive special teams guy. Those guys would all be getting massive raises. They're not making much money at the UFL. They would be getting massive raises.
Oh, my gosh. They're making nothing in the UFL.
Nothing. I would say, I'm Steve Spurrier here. I'd say, Bob, why don't you and your staff, and, everybody won't come with you. You may want to keep some guys on the existing staff. You may want to keep a recruiting coordinator or two on the existing. You may want to keep Mike Peterson. You may want to keep Billy Gonzalez. Okay? But bring your staff. Come to Florida. You know how to do this. Stabilize Florida. Now, Bob Stoops, his first answer maybe, or his first pushback to you may be, well, Coach Spurrier, I got out of the game at Oklahoma 7 years ago because I don't want to recruit anymore. I'm grown up. Well, let me tell you something, Bob. It's a different landscape. You don't have to, if you've got a name, and Bob Stoops has a name, if you've got a name, you don't have to get on that plane and fly around every day during recruiting. The players will find you now. We're in a different era.
No.
The players seek out the programs more than you have to go night after night after night after night, walking into Patrick Young's home and talking to his mom and dad. I think Steve Spurrier could talk to Bob Stoops and say, Bob, come stabilize this program, and you want to coach. You're coaching right now. Come do it. I know that sounds nuts, but that's what I would do. If I was
he's already in the game.
He's in the game.
I think that's a great idea, Terry. Because I'm trying to just think of who else. Because I heard what you said earlier. Being able to get a guy that has the prestige.
Yeah.
That I think the Florida program wants right now. I think those guys all got good jobs.
Yeah, and I know Gator
Let's
Nation.
grab somebody from the NFL.
Yeah. Gator Nation doesn't want to hear this, but the Florida program right now is not a mega desirable job. It is not. They're not throwing money hand over fist, and it's a bit of a rebuild.
We should get James Franklin. Bring James Franklin back.
I may punch you in the nose for saying that, Patrick.
What?
Nobody wants James Franklin. What's wrong with you?
He might be okay.
Patrick, you just ruined the whole segment. It's done. Segment's done. Segment's over.
Vanderbilt beat Florida there.
I was at the game. What a disastrous Saturday.
You got to remember that. Vanderbilt beat Florida.
I remember I was at the game. What a disastrous game that was.
I think I was still in school then.
I think I blamed you for the loss. I think it was your fault. Hey, Pat, hang tight. I know we got 1 segment left. Let's come back, kind of wrap things up. What a fun game tonight in the NFL to kick off the season. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Baltimore at Kansas City. Derrick Henry, we'll talk about that as we come back and wrap things up. Patrick Young's hanging around. I'm Terry Norvelle. I am hanging around, of course.
Really excited for that one.
I am too. I'm set up here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Cool evening. I like it. The temperature is really starting to get nice for the patio and all the openness that is Sliders Oyster Bar featuring Safe Harbor Seafood.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
All right, so it's kind of a mixed situation for me as today, kind of right now, the NFL season has pretty much started. We will be kicking things off with the Super Bowl champions as Kansas City, as I welcome you back to a Thursday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show. We are at our Thursday location. We're sold out Monday through Friday. We're at a different location every week, so you can come by and say hi. Every Thursday, we're right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Exciting time. NFL season starts. It's pretty much today is the start of the NFL season. Great game, by the way. Kansas City, the Super Bowl champions, really the dominant franchise in the NFL the last several years. They will host one of, if not their number one nemesis now. Many people think that Baltimore is the closest team to knock these guys off with Lamar Jackson. Now they've got Derrick Henry. Can't wait for that game tonight. Can't wait to see. Can Baltimore, will they be just this running team? Will Derrick Henry complement Lamar Jackson? Will Lamar Jackson complement Derrick Henry? Will the play action with Henry in the backfield open up things for the passing game? Blah, 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 blah. Kansas City, all the pomp and circumstance. Excited for the game tonight. The NFL kicks off. The only drawback every year that I have when the NFL starts, we now will have to put up with. You'll see it everywhere. It should make your stomach want to curl and throw up in your mouth. I'm going to say it again. It's a PSA. I'm trying to help. If you are over 30 years old and a male, a man, and I use that term loosely, over 30 years old, don't wear a jersey. The NFL fan, they wear jerseys. Most of your college fans, some of them wear jerseys, but college guys are polo shirts with their team or T-shirts. The NFL guy, there's nothing worse than a 45, 47, 51, 62-year-old grown man, loosely I use that term, wearing a football jersey.
I think I do know something that might be worse. I want to preface this by saying I am not Jersey guy. I don't wear the jerseys. I have a few, but I have them hanging up on the wall. But having said that, I think that the one thing that might be worse than Jersey guy is 50-plus-year-old man who's concerned with what other men are wearing guy.
I feel like Zach, I feel like that's a shot across my bow here. Okay, I feel like you just threw that.
Well, what does it matter to you what these guys choose to wear?
I'm just trying.
Some of the ladies might like. My wife has told me that she likes the jersey look.
Zach, the reason is I'm a helper.
I understand.
I'm a helper by nature. I want to help people. I'm trying to help these guys. Now, you notice I didn't say women. Women wearing a jersey, and it comes down right about here.
Good Lord.
All right. Hey, Zach. A woman wearing a jersey, it comes down about here.
You don't have to show me where it cuts off.
Hey, Terry's okay with that on a woman, but guys, don't be jerk. And then you'll get the 46-year-old dude. He's Jersey guy, and then to put a cherry on the top, he'll be backward hat guy. No. Don't be Jersey and backward hat guy. You're 46 years old.
I didn't know that you were so stupid. So concerned
you look
with their fashion.
Stupid. You look stupid. And Zach, please tell me your wife doesn't have one of those. I can't say it because I don't want to be rude. Please tell me, as a South Carolina fan, I'm sure your wife's a South Carolina fan now. Is she a South Carolina girl?
We actually met on campus there. So yeah,
she doesn't have one of those shirts that says. I love.
I think the viral redheaded girl. Yeah, it said Saturdays are for the Cox is what her shirt said.
I saw that. I did see that.
I've got a shirt that just says Cox on it. Why not? You got to. We don't run away from that. We embrace it. We don't run from it. We run towards it.
And Zach, you just saying that doesn't surprise me one bit. Not one bit. That you have a shirt that says what?
It says Cox. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'm a fan of both the Gamecocks and the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I like to say that I'm a fan of the Steel Cox. Is that inappropriate? Am I allowed to say that? Yeah.
Well, it's nice knowing you folks. We'll be off the air for the next ever. What's the deal with your Steelers shirt there? What are we doing? How's our love of the Steelers? How'd that happen? You're a South Carolina guy.
The whole family became Steeler fans because it was either them or at the time the Washington Redskins that were on TV. This is before the Panthers were born. So we all just kind of adopted them. Yeah, we just kind of adopted them and ran with. I like the Panthers. I don't hate the Panthers, but we're always been Steeler fans.
Well, Zach, we only have a few minutes here. I'll give you a little history lesson here. We're going off in a little bit. Little history lesson here in Duval County, North Central Florida. you will always, it'll take another 50 years or more before you'll always have a core of Redskin fans here. Because way back 50s and 60s, the Redskins, there were no Atlanta Falcons. There were no New Orleans Saints. There were no Miami Dolphins. The Redskins were geographically basically the closest team to Jacksonville. So when the NFL and TV started becoming a thing in the 50s and 60s, Jacksonville got the Redskins broadcast. So you have a lot of Redskins. And then the Dolphins popped up in the 60s. So the Redskins have a good base here because only team you could see. Right?
Yeah, I think that's the whole East Coast. That's the way it is back in South Carolina as well.
Yeah. And you know, and I'm not saying you're a front runner. You're too young to be a front runner. But there's a huge Steeler fan base around the country. And it's dying off now, but you can use my age. We got 1 minute. I'll use my age. I'm pushing 60 years old. Well, keep in mind, when I was in the 70s, I was impressionable.
Oh, yeah.
I was in my teen years. Well, people in their teen years in the 70s went through their 40s and 50s. The Steelers were the dominant team, and once they started having money, they could follow the Steelers because they followed them as a teenage year in the 70s. So they stuck with them. They won a bunch of Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's probably like my dad and my uncle's generation. I mean, that's how it started. They really were kind of bandwagon fans in the 70s, but they stuck through it the 80s, the 90s, and still today, though.
Definitely. Hey, Zach, good job. Patrick Young, good job. I know Pat was with us a brief period because he had some appointments. I hope you enjoyed the show. Josh Vaughn, congratulations. You won 2 Gator tickets. We'll get in touch with you between this evening and tomorrow to get you in Gainesville. We'll do it again today. We will wrap it up today. Do it again tomorrow. The Young and Norvelle Show coming to you tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Join us at Bricks, Jax Beach.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.